Good communication is key to strong connections. We know this, especially with our kids and especially as they become teenagers.
That is correct. Youth advocate and author Jessie Clark Funk joins us to tell us more about 3 important conversations to have regularly with our teens.
Yes.
Not just one conversation. We're talking about on a regular basis.
Absolutely. It should be as normal as like a well check at a doctor's office. Like every month, and maybe every other month, maybe, but regular checkups.
Number 1, really key, is the mental health. Like, dive right in there.
Yeah. I want to set it up though. Like when you have these kinds of conversations with kids, you have to just be in the mindset they're going to roll their eyes at you. They are going to be annoyed. They don't want to have these conversations. It's our job as parents to be really brave and to be really strong and just do it anyway. So I recommend for this type of conversation, keep it very short, 5-10 minutes, absolutely max. And this is not a lecture. This is an asking questions, seeing where they are, honoring them in that moment, and then also having kind of the right setup. Like I highly recommend putting them in a car where they can't run away, or when they're eating, so they're busy stuffing their face and they don't have like a chance to talk back to you. So set it up right, because it is a hard thing. It's a very hard thing. We have to be brave. This is parenting in action.
But Jessie, I think I ask how her day is and how are you doing and how's swimming and how's your boyfriend. I don't think I say, how is your mental health?
Yes.
Should those words be used?
Absolutely. So that's why this type of conversation kind of has to be set up the right way. And it has to be a thing. Like you just say, we're going to have our little check-in, get in the car. Like we're doing it, you know? And so you just kind of set it up that way and just say, I'm just going to ask you these questions. It'll be a 5-minute conversation, but I need to know where you are. How is your mental health?
But when the CDC says last week that 1 in 3 teen girls has considered suicide in the last year, you realize how important that question is.
It is. And you have to say it. You have to say the words or else they don't feel safe enough. It's a very hard topic to just bring up. The kid isn't going to really bring it up, and they kind of beat around the bush a little. So you have to ask very specific questions. I always recommend doing like a scale because it's easier to just kind of get in there. So you say, give me depression on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is you're super happy, 10 is you're thinking about hurting yourself. Just give me a number. And that's a good way to ease in.
And that's so simple, but it is very direct. And you even say, have you had thoughts about hurting yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, those are things that we have to say to our kids and be used to.
It's like parents think we're putting it in their mind. And that's not, if you say it, and that is not the case.
No, research, do any quick Google search. The research shows talking about it helps so much to prevent anything from happening. And it helps them process, it helps them figure it out. Because if they have had thoughts like that, it just helps them think through it instead of being scared of it. Like, oh, I shouldn't have those thoughts, it's a bad thought. We can always honor our thoughts. It's how we react to them, it's how we process them.
You also say drugs and alcohol, same. Say it out loud. Talk about it
out loud. Just say, are you using anything to alter your mind? And you have to do the work before this question in order to prove to them you're not going to freak out. The parent freak out is the thing that kids will avoid above all else. They can actually handle parents being mad, I think, in general, way more than they can handle disappointing. They don't want to disappoint. So if they say, yeah, I'm smoking weed, like, it's not the anger they're scared of, it's the disappointment.
Okay, so what's the right reaction
so
if they do tell you that?
Yeah, so the work that we do to prevent them from being scared that we're gonna freak out is we can't freak out over anything in their lives. If we get sad or we get mad, then the kids are like, oh, my mom isn't strong enough to handle this stuff. She's not strong enough. So I have to carry this on my own. So we have to show them, I can handle being disappointed. It's okay for me to be disappointed. I'll get over it. I love you. It has nothing to do with my love for you. So we have to establish that first. And then when we have these conversations, they say, yeah, I'm smoking weed. You have to remain very calm.
There's a groundwork there that you've established.
Yes. So you have to stay calm.
They have to know that you are that safe person for them, so they will come to you no matter what the conversation is. You just mentioned love, and I think this is something that we think, oh, our kids know that, but you have to tell them, and that's your third conversation, that you love them and you are there for them, and the good that you see in them.
Absolutely. You have to say it. You say, I love the way you dress. I love it when you really show up for school and you're like trying to give your best, even when I know you're stressed about it, even when I know you hate your math teacher. Like, I know all this stuff, but I love the way you show up anyway. I love the way you talk to your younger sibling. Like, I see that. I want you to know I see you. I see the effort you're putting into your life. I just want you to know I think you're super cool.
And sometimes it's tough to say to a teenager because you're right, the eye roll comes next.
Yep,
it does.
Sure does.
And usually sometimes it's behind a slammed door that I'm going, I love you. Because that's, I mean, you're connecting any little moment that you can.
I know.
But they need to hear it. I see the change when I say it or even text it.
Yep. Yep, exactly. It really, it's a cheesy way to think of it, but I love to tell teenagers this. It's an emotional bank account. You are making so many deposits that when you have to make a withdrawal, you have to be the parent. You say, okay, if you're using weed, I have major concerns. You are absolutely risking testicular cancer and schizophrenia. That's not good for your brain. So of course I have concerns. That's my job. But I love you so much. We're going to talk through it. We're going to process it together. I'm not going to be mad at you. We're going to do this together because we're a team. But they have to know that that's the foundation first. They have to feel that first.
And the impact that parents have on their teens, on their kids, is so huge that we forget sometimes. We think that it's every other influence, but it's the parents who lead.
1,000%. 1,000%. The parents are still and will always be the most influential force in a child's life. That's why we have to be brave. We have to, even when they're rolling their eyes and even when they are driving us bananas and we feel disconnected from them. We say it anyway. I love you, I see you, I honor you, and there's so much good in you. Say it anyway, because they're learning. Even if they don't listen, they will hear you. And eventually, I promise, it'll pay off.
Jesse's my go-to for parenting advice. Sometimes I go, Kate, I have something to say. Here's Jesse. Get on the phone.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We needed to hear that today, and so did some folks at home.
Her Instagram's right there on your screen, everybody, and now on our website. If you need tips and tricks, she's got them for you, abc4.com/GTU. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.